everybody, so today I thought I'd make a quick video showing how we shower off-grid, how we heat our water, considering we have no power and no indoor plumbing. We have no water lines coming from our well. We just have a shallow well, which we dug. It's 7 feet deep. We dug it by hand with a shovel and a pail. So that's where we get our water from. Before we did that, we got it from the river, which runs alongside our property. So yeah, I'll show you how we heat up our water for our shower and our shower system that we have set up in the bathroom. Alright, so here we are at our water source. So this is what we do for water. We fill up 5-gallon jugs from our well, which is about, 20-30 feet from the front of the house. So we fill up those 5-gallon jugs, and then we bring it in here, and we fill up this 55-gallon drum, and that's the water we use for showering. We've got another drum by the kitchen sink. That one's only, I think it's about 25 gallons, maybe a little less. That's what we use in the kitchen. And then this is the one that we use for showering. So we just take our pots here, and we actually got this little pump at the thrift store. It was brand new. And before we had this pump, we were actually just using, I don't know what it's called. Like, you would use it to clean out a fish tank. It just creates a siphon, and then it pumps into here. So right now our jug is a little low. When it's fuller, it has a really fast siphon. As it gets lower, the siphon obviously gets slower and slower. So all you have to do here is pump this until the water starts flowing. And it takes a little longer when the jug is lower, like I said. And see if I can get it to siphon. So that is how we do that. It'll create a siphon, and then we will just wait for our pot to fill up. So this is just about full. The only flaw with this setup is there's no kind of valve, no way to stop the siphon other than you have to pull this out above the water level, which you can make a mess with that. So you have to watch and time it properly so you don't all of a sudden overflow your pot. So there we are. The pot is full. Gonna go put that on the wood stove. So here we are with our pots on the wood stove. So it doesn't take long for them to heat up. If the wood stove is already hot, I would say it's probably maybe 5 minutes. I can time it to say for sure. Probably 5 minutes before this water is hot. So this is the only way we have right now of heating water. We were thinking about getting a water heater on demand that uses propane, but right now this just is a lot more, well, it's free. We already always have the wood stove going in the winter, so to just throw some water on the wood stove is really not too much of a hassle. This is how I heat up the water for doing dishes and any other time that we need hot water. So in the summer, we don't really use a lot of hot water. We basically just keep our 5-gallon jugs of water outside, and they'll heat up naturally from the sun. And because you don't really want super hot water in the summer anyways, it's usually a perfect temperature for showering and whatever else we need it for. Alright, so while the water is heating up, we'll come into the bathroom and set up our shower in here. So what we do is we keep it in here when we're not showering, but we use this keg right here, and that is technically our hot water tank. So we just keep it out of the way when we're not showering, otherwise it's just in the way. So take that out. Here we have our vanity, which is not connected to water at all. This faucet does absolutely nothing. In the future, we do have it plumbed in here to go to the faucet, but as of right now, it doesn't do anything. So this right here is our setup. Up there in the top corner, we have a 12-volt pump from a camper. See if I can turn the light on here. Alright, here's a light so you can see a bit better. So up there is, I believe it's a SureFlow 12-volt pump out of a camper. So that goes into this here, which is a homemade charcoal filter. So all of the water after goes through the pump, it gets pumped through this tube, which is filled with charcoal. We made it removable and unscrewable so we can replace the charcoal. We want to make a few more of those and put one in our kitchen line and just have a spare one on hand. Super awesome and convenient. So here we have a pre-filter, and that's made for a garden hose. So that just filters out the larger sediment. I don't know if you can see in there, but just larger particles so that that doesn't go through our water pump. And then this is a more fine filter, because this goes straight to our shower. So we have it plumbed here going through our vanity. And we got this vanity in the dumpster actually because it was cracked here on the bottom, but the outside is perfect. So we just drilled a hole through the side here, and you can see that goes here and gets plumbed straight to our shower head. And the shower head we actually also found in the dumpster, so that was free. Very nice shower head. And our shower is just 2 pieces of tin, which has nice design from laying on the ground outside. That's all where leaves were on it, but hey, it does the job. So we have a valve here at the bottom, that down, and when we hook up our water tank, we just open that. It kind of prevents an airlock from happening. If we don't open that, it takes forever for the water to prime. So we originally just put that in as a drain because we were having problems with everything freezing. It was just getting too cold in here the first winter. So we wanted to put a drain in the system so we could drain it. We don't have the problem with freezing anymore now that we've insulated things more, but it's come in really handy to use it. So we just open that up, and this is for if we are ever going to have water going to our tap. That's a valve there. So right now we just have it closed, so the water just goes straight to the shower there. So from here, as you can see, this is just a metal pipe to keep our garden hose at the bottom of our keg. And this is a 7-gallon keg. So here we just have a garden hose, and this is just a quick connect for a garden hose. So we put that onto our pump here, push that on, and now we are connected to our water source. So we have a switch here on the side of the vanity, and that turns the pump on. So it's a pretty simple setup. All of this is run on a 100-watt solar panel, which is probably overkill for the system, but we just have one 100-watt solar panel running our bathroom, connected to a battery obviously, and that gives us light in the shower, a vanity light over here, which we want to move, and the pump. So that gives us plenty of power for that. Alright, so how we get our water into our keg is we take that out, and you probably already saw this water jug here. Well, it broke because we let water freeze in it one time. So we had this great idea of just cutting the bottom off and using it as a funnel. So the spout fits into this keg. You actually kind of have to shimmy it in there to get it nice and snug. And then we just pour our hot water right in. Alright, so here we have our hot water, and it's simple as pouring it in. I usually don't do it that messy, but just for you guys, figured I would, spill everywhere. So here we go. We'll go get the other pot. So we've already learned how we like the temperature of our showers. I usually get these pots of water pretty hot, and then I top it off with the cold water out of our 55-gallon drum. There we go. So then I will just take this out and grab the hose hose from the pump here of the 55-gallon drum, and I'll just top that off with cold water. And we've already kind of figured out the ratios of hot to cold that we need in order to have the temperature shower that we would like. So pull that out of there and just stop the siphon. There we go. Alright, so now our keg is filled with water. So then it's as simple as putting this into the keg, and then we'll come back in here. Oh, the valve is open. So all we have to do then, turn on the shower light, open the valve, and turn on the switch on the pump there. So you can see how it's shooting out air. So if I don't open that valve, it'll take a really long time to prime. This just makes it go so much faster. So we just watch, and you can see when the water starts coming through there, then it'll be in the pump in no time, and then we shut that valve. And you can hear when it gets to the pump. There we go. So now we shut that valve, and now we will have water. And there's the water. And we have our rainfall shower head. So there we go. Then it just acts like any other shower. Turn it off and turn it on. So we don't have any gray water system. This is just plumbed straight to a sump pump hose outside. It goes through the floor with a solid hose, and then we have a sump pump hose on the other side, and it just drains straight outside. So we try to use natural shampoos and stuff, but we find most of them in the dumpster, so we kind of just have to use what we find. But for the most part, these days, things are somewhat, sulfate-free, paraben-free, dye-free. And we don't have anything around the house that's close by to these drains anyways. In winter, we have to have these drains fairly short, otherwise they will freeze. But in summer, we can have longer hoses and push them farther away from the house. So yeah, that is our complete water system. The water source is there. Our hot water tank is here. Our pump is in there. And when we first set this up, we were like, there's no way we're going to be doing this forever. We didn't like the heating up on the wood stove and pouring it in there. But we have gotten so used to it. It's just second nature. It really isn't a problem at all. I don't mind it. We originally, like I said, were thinking of getting a propane water heater, but I really don't mind this method. At the beginning, too, when we first moved here, we were so used to having unlimited water, our super long showers, so it was really hard to limit ourselves to 7 gallons a shower. But now, I don't even use the full 7 gallons. You adjust to your surroundings, and when water isn't just unlimited, you really adapt to not using as much. So thanks so much for watching this video. If you guys have any questions or even comments or any ideas of how we could improve our system, I would love to hear that. We definitely know it's not perfect, but so far that's what we've come up with, and it's working out great. So thanks so much for watching. Any questions or comments, leave down below. Subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it or learned anything from it, and we will see you guys all in the next video.